All right. Well, hello again, all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. John and Ellie of Georgia Beer Reviews back at you this evening with a special examination. I'm being joined by Michael Komaroff up in Brooklyn, and we are looking at a Pontoon Brewing Company beer from Sandy Springs, Georgia. This is the last one out of the initial package I sent you, I believe, other than the one that you and Audrey still have to drink, the Orpheus Brewing, but this is the Most Humble Cobbler, 7% alcohol by volume. It is a, let's see, Berliner style Weiss beer with cherry, cinnamon, nutmeg, vanilla, and lactose. So 7% alcohol. It does list the IBUs. I didn't put that down here below, but it's
eight IBUs.
IBUs. So, all right, and Pontoon Brewing out of Sandy Springs, one of my favorite craft breweries here in Georgia. They make a lot of really good beers. So I'm interested to see what you think about this one. We got Drunken One in the chat. How you doing, Drunken One? Thanks for stopping by. And sorry for my face being so bright. I don't really know what – I'll have to worry about that some other time, I guess. But my new monitor is – I'm not albino, I promise. Okay, so – Michael, I'll let you go ahead and lead off with it.
Okay, let me open it up and put it in the glass. Got a nice color.
Very fizzy, almost like soda pop. A lot of bubbles and
definitely well carbonated. That's what mine looks like in the glass.
Yours poured with a better head. My head immediately disappeared, like if I had poured a soda into a glass.
There's a mild chill haze on mine, too, and I guess that's going to probably go away over time. It's mostly clear.
So, cherry cinnamon. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Cinnamon and nutmeg are the first two things that I'm picking up on, and then maybe a little bit of the cherry in the background.
Yeah, I'm getting the cinnamon as well, and the nutmeg also. The cherry to me is more of a background flavor. It's not a direct flavor here. Maybe I will get it in the taste. I can't smell the lactose, but again, sometimes you can and sometimes you can't.
I am getting a little bit. The more I sniff it here, you kind of have to adjust your nose to the cinnamon and nutmeg because the spice component comes out initially. But I am getting a little bit of that vanilla sweet aroma in the background.
But you are right that the cinnamon and the nutmeg are your primary lead noses that you are getting.
Right. No alcohol, 7%, which is really, by today's standards, that's not super high. But 7% is, I mean, it is still getting up there, especially for this style. A Berliner Weiss, you're typically looking at, between like 5 and 6%, sometimes lower than that.
Sometimes even lower. Sometimes it's 4%.
Yeah, I was going to say some of these companies now it's like 4.0 or 4.2, like a light beer. But I'm definitely not picking up any booze. It smells like a session to me. It smells like a session sour type beer.
Whenever you are ready, I am ready.
Let's do it. Cheers. Same thing for me on the palate. The cinnamon.
Yeah, I'm getting the cinnamon and the nutmeg. I'm getting the cherry now. Cherry now.
Yes, Burley. Okay, so Burley is talking about the beer that I wanted to send you, but it wasn't around yet. The Pontoon Snosberry, the Flotation Device Series Snosberry. It's very thick, and it's got like the puree in it, so it's not clear at all. That is one of my favorite beers, Burley. They just put it out around here a few weeks ago, and it is awesome stuff. So that's really cool that you got to try it. One of my favorites.
This is really good because the combination of the flavors here are really nice, and it's well done. It's balanced.
Well, it's interesting that the label, the name of the beer, the most interesting cobbler. I didn't really think about it the first time I drank this beer, but it does have cobbler. I think the cinnamon and the nutmeg. You know, when you have a good cobbler, that bready, the base, the it's not graham cracker, but the bread component of
Right.
the cobbler, it does have that
Right.
note to it.
Right. And I'm getting the lactose kind of feel to it in the taste as well. It's got kind of like a creamy kind of feel.
Right, it does, but they obviously didn't add a ton of lactose because mine is still crystal clear. When you start getting into the lactose, you add a bunch of lactose to beer, it adds a haze to the beer. And you mentioned a chill haze, but
The chill haze that I had now is gone. So now
mine is pretty much.
Mine's clear. Also, that initial head that I had, John, is now down to a very slim, just top part of the beer. And I have a little bit more that I can pour to try to regenerate the head, but something tells me it's not going to really regenerate.
Right.
It's not.
It is very carbonated, though. I've got a ton of bubble, much like a soda pop would be. There's a ton of bubbles.
Right. And it has kind of a soda pop kind of feel when you drink it also, in a way.
Hey, Stoneyard's drinking a similar type beer. He's got his homebrew cherry Hefeweizen. He's getting shit-faced 7% alcohol. All right. Cheers.
That's good.
Cheers to you, Stoneyard.
John, I'm enjoying this.
Well, good. Yeah, I didn't know what you think. I mean, I love it. I like most sours, but I guess because I've had so many of their sours recently, this one is not one of my favorites. But it's still, for me, it's still going to probably be in the A range. It's very well made. Oh, and you know what? Hey, check this out. As I pour, look what happened when I poured the bottom part of the beer in the glass. It hazed up big time.
Yeah, I have a little haze in mine now too.
I just poured the last little bit. I kind of did the little.
Yeah, when I poured the thing on top, mine got hazy also. So there had to be some sediment or something in the bottom of the can. That's all that could explain it.
I have a feeling maybe the lactose settled to the bottom, and actually, I'm getting, holy cow, I shook mine a little bit. I've got a few chunks in there, like yeast floaties going on in there as well. Huh. Yeah, that completely changed the appearance of my beer, though. It went from
mine too. See, mine was just a chill haze. Now it's actually hazy.
Oh, cheers to you, Bumpy. Yeah, he's got to log in over. They've got the ABV show tonight.
Yeah, that's at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Bumpy. We appreciate it. Enjoyed hanging out with you on the Schlitz examination over on Ron Terrio's channel.
A quick aside, I'm still going to do Ron's show when it's things I can get. And, I like doing Eric's also, but he's going to have some regular people. And he switch.
Ron doesn't care about the whole compete. People that can't get the specific stuff, they go do the Wildcard Wednesday. He actually kind of gave Eric a little promo during the show about, the Wildcard Wednesday being over on his channel now. So
because it's not like Eric's competing with him. He just
and it's not. There's so many great. We're all a big community. We for the most part we all get along. It's nice to have options. If you can't get one thing, there's another show you can join, and you want to hang out and drink a beer. It's not personal. It's just whatever you can get. If you can't get the stuff for Jay's channel, then join Wildcard. And if you want to do the specific thing, then go over to Jay's. And then if you get the stuff we're doing, which the Panther Cup, by the way, I put a little feeler out for that. A lot of people are going to be able to get the Panther Cup, so I plan on doing that in the next month or so.
That can be a bigger group, and we can have like 5 or 6 people doing it.
Exactly, that'll be a bigger group. We can all examine that. I know Bumpy seemed
miscellaneous. Can miscellaneous get Panther Cup?
Oh yeah, he gets a lot of the founders down there. He should be able to get it. And if not, I got to send him some beer mail soon, so I'll throw one in when I send him.
I've never seen it before. And again, I see some of the founder stuff in 6-packs on the corner.
Well, I figured, I know you had to kind of search high and low for the KBS, and you overpaid for it. So I was like, you know what? Michael's going to love the Panther Cub, and you know. So I figured that would be one that you have to try. That's it's one of the best Founders beers I've ever had. It's up there with the KBS, the CBS. I mean, it's probably the best porter I've ever had. So, and the bourbon, it's barrel aged, but they don't overdo it because it is a porter. It's just enough to let you know that, hey, there's something a little special here, but it doesn't overdo it, and it's not the body is not fit. The body holds up well to the barrel aging. Whereas sometimes you get barrel aged porters that it becomes too boozy because there's not enough body with a porter a lot of times to hold up to the barrel aging. But Founders knows how to do everything like that perfectly, and they did not disappoint with this one. So Bumpy says he doesn't have the Panthers Cub, but it just came out. It will be in your area, Bumpy, because I know you've had the KB. I know you can get the other stuff. Give it another couple weeks. It will show up there. I promise you.
So the Bigfoot barley wine is there now,
which is okay. Hey, go! I've still got 2 of the Bigfoot in the fridge. Pick up some Bigfoot barley wine. We'll do another.
Maybe I can find it. I'll look again tomorrow at the co-op. They may have it. I'm going.
There you go. The 2020 is still. You never know when it might show up.
They always have Sierra Nevada stuff. I'm sad about the fact that they don't handle Founders anymore because Founders makes a lot of really great beer, which I've always liked. So I mean, whatever it is, it is. I mean, if I have to buy a 4-pack, it's not the end of the world. But in some of these ones, like the one you sent me, I mean, the price can be pricey unless you get a good deal.
It was what was it? I think it was $11.99 for the. No, it was $12.99, but it was a 6-pack, not a 4-pack.
Okay, that's a good price. That's very good.
So I mean,
I paid $8 for the single in that rip-off bodega. I was kind of upset when I
right. Well, and like the KBS Mackinac Fudge, initially I could only buy the singles, but now there's so much of it here that they're not allocating it anymore. The last 4-pack I bought, which one of those got sent to you, it was $22.99 for the 4-pack, which
that's good
for a Founders.
I mean, considering it would have been. Break up the 4-pack at the $8 I paid, it would have been $32, and maybe you would have gotten a break. But it just shows you that it's what the market will demand. For some reason in New York, they came and people bought it up right away, and once they're gone, then the price goes up.
Right.
This is, you know what I like the best about this? After I put in my last stuff, which must have been the lactose and whatever sediment, and it got hazy. Now the taste is picking up too.
It's better. It's got more of a cobbler taste. The mouthfeel is a little bit thicker, a little bit more creamy. Yeah, I'm noticing the same thing. That it's almost like when you get it, they should put a disclosure on the can, like roll the can a little bit, kind of mix it up before you open and pour it, because all the good stuff was definitely in the bottom of mine.
Right, in mine too. And I'm getting, like a tart sour kind of feel to it as well.
Yes, I think it's like a sour cherry type note from the cherry in there. Which also, being a Berliner style Weiss, it's got that lactobacillus element. So you got the cherry with the souring effect from the lactobacillus. It's got that perfect little sour cherry note. And then you know what? That nutmeg, vanilla, and lactose, especially since I did the swish and pour, the lactose and the vanilla in there, it does give it almost a cobbler type effect, like a cherry cobbler.
I'm getting that.
I mean, it kind of like the label right there. You got a cherry cobbler on the label. That's what you're getting with the palate, and it definitely doesn't. It has no alcohol presence at all.
No, you'd never guess this is more than just the session beer.
Honestly, if I had to guess, if you gave me this and told me it was a Berliner Weiss, and I'm drinking, I'm like, okay, it's like a standard 4.5%. That's what it tastes.
I agree. The alcohol is masked for sure. And I'm still getting cinnamon and nutmeg as well, but they've gone now more into the background. I'm getting more of the cherry and the lactose feel a little bit more, but it's got a nice mouthfeel too.
Yeah, it really does have a nice, slightly creamy mouthfeel. Carbonation with this is on the medium side for me.
It's on the low side of medium.
It's the lower end of medium, but as I drink it, I can feel the bubble. Like I got a burp coming here probably in the next 5 minutes. It's got some good carbonation.
Mine's already come, but the carbonation definitely is a good thing because it puts everything.
So Stoneyard Vineyards, he can't taste the alcohol in his, but trust me, it's there.
Sure it's there.
I hear you.
So this would be a dangerous beer. You have to be careful with this because it goes down like it's a session.
Like a session, yeah. Because Berliner Weiss, you think a session beer. And it follows the guidelines of the style. It drinks like a session, but it's more on the imperial side. I would say 7% is right there in that no man's land. Like 6%, okay, that's right on the end of session. Then 8% plus is your high gravity, your imperial. So 7% is kind of like right in the middle. Like you don't know what to classify it as.
Right.
I'm enjoying this more than when I had it initially. Obviously, drinking with friends makes everything better. But I will say that little swish and pour on the bottom with that, it just kind of hazed it up, and all the good stuff came out of it. And I don't remember getting that hazy effect the first time I had it. Maybe I just didn't get all the goodies out of the bottom of the can. I don't know.
And I have those little floaties like you do too. There's some sediment in mine.
Right.
And actually, the people, and we do get beer drinkers who see that and they get scared of it and they think it means the beer is bad. Actually, it means the beer is good. It's right. The way that it's just stuff it's the yeast usually that's settling in the beer.
Right, exactly.
The beer has yeast in it.
And it tends to cake up on the surfaces, on the bottom.
It'll collect on the side of the can. Then when it comes out, sometimes, whatever. So mine is staying hazy. The beer is still hazy.
Mine is hazy too. Yeah. Once I did that swish and pour. So this is a lesson to everybody out there who may be watching. If you have a really good beer, pour, I would say like 90% of it in the glass, and then do a little swish and pour, because a lot of times
shake it up because it could be stuck in the bottom.
A lot of times you get that caked up sediment, which will haze up the beer, and a lot of the flavor is retained in the yeast. So, but yeah, I'm like, my rating is going to go up from the first time I had this, for sure.
I think it's really good, and I would have never thought of the different styles. I've liked Berliner Weisses before, but it was never my favorite style. This one's really good.
Yeah, Pontoon does some great stuff. Like the snozzberries that Burley was talking about is awesome. They have a whole sour series that they put out every year. They do. It's unbelievable. Sours and stouts, Pontoon. That's where it's at. And as you'll see when we get around to the Fluffy Otter, I think that one's really going to blow your mind, because it's like the marshmallow. I've had a lot of beers with marshmallow flavor or whatever, right, but they don't really live up. It's kind of a disappointment. It's like, well, it doesn't really taste like marshmallows. They'll put vanilla extract, or they'll put something in there that's similar, but a marshmallow to me is a very distinct and unique flavor. The Fluffy Otter nailed it with the marshmallow flavor, and yeah.
I think I like marshmallow in beer only because I like marshmallows anyway. So I think.
Well, if you like s'mores, the Fluffy Otter is very reminiscent of a s'mores, because it's got the marshmallow flavor, and then you get the chocolate malt and that dark roasty character, that campfire type roasted malt character, almost a little smoky. And of course, it's on the sweet side, and the 9% alcohol is non-existent. As with all of the Pontoon beers, the ABV, that most of their stuff is on the imperial side. None of it drinks like high alcohol product. So,
really am.
Now, I wanted to ask. I know we're kind of killing a little bit of time here while we're thinking of our ratings. I wanted to ask you the other beer that we're not doing an examination on, but that you got in your beer mail package the first time around, was that Orpheus Brewing, the donuts double chocolate. You haven't, you and Audrey haven't cracked into that yet, have you?
There is some chance that she's forgotten, So maybe we
Oh.
can still do it, because if she ever said,
Well, no, I don't want to take. I don't. Well, I'd have to buy more because I drank my last.
You can still get it.
I can still get it. Yeah, it's interesting. That's a series, which I didn't know that they have a jelly donut IPA, and they also have another one they just released. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but that whole Revolution, it's a series from Orpheus. So they've got the double chocolate stout that I sent you. They've got the jelly donut IPA, and then they've got one other one anyway, they're all different styles. The IPA, the stout, and then I think the other one is like maybe an Imperial Kolsch or something really out there.
And something else I was thinking, John, that I could do, I could make that one of the entries in the March 4th one that I do here, and then everybody from the group can taste it. And then Audrey can't say anything because she's there, so she'll still be getting,
And it is a higher. It is a 10% or 10.
I think it's 10. It's 10%. I think
it would spread around a little bit better. With the.
And I was going to tell you that what I was thinking I might do, which would be unprecedented if I can, all the beers that I'm going to do might be dark beers. In other words, I won't do any IPAs and I won't do anything but stouts, porters, and I'll probably freak out some of the people. But the other side of it is most of the people like that style.
Every single time. Hey, what comes in first and second, and
it's almost always
third place? It's always the dark beers win.
I know. But it's funny now, and I know you started out drinking beer the same way I did. You started on macros, and there was lower alcohol stuff and whatever. But it's like when you do graduate to craft beer, and you get to that stout thing, and you see the different combinations and what they can do. And I'm more with you on the straight stuff. If you're going to give me a really good straight stout, like the Lion Stout, or like some of these other ones, I don't need to have all this extra stuff. But the extra stuff, when it's bourbon barrel aged, it reaches a different level. So it's different.
Right.
It's like, you're saying, welcome me into this new land where, we got bourbon taste and other stuff. And I think you can barrel age almost anything and make it better.
True. I mean, even IPAs, which, very hoppy and a lot of, drink it fresh. Well, what do you think? Barley wine and all these, like a barley wine, if you drink it fresh, it's like a very hoppy IPA type beer. So even the hoppy stuff holds up. Well, and that's not necessarily the barrel aging with, the barley wines, but a lot of the higher alcohol, let's see, I'm trying to think of an example. Founders actually did one. It was called Rum Runner, and it was an Imperial IPA, a red IPA that was aged in rum. It wasn't bourbon barrels, but it was aged in rum barrels for like a year. And that stuff, it didn't have any any like hoppiness to it, but the way that the hops faded and developed and melded into that rum barrel aging, and it was like 10 or 11%. I mean, it was out of this world. So there's so many ways you can incorporate a barrel age, whether it's bourbon, rum. There's like Founders did a tequila, barrel aged Imperial Goza. I mean, everything. Like I said, everything can be made better with barrel aging if you know what you're doing. And Founders.
And you're not the biggest IPA person, but sometimes on some of these higher alcohol ones, not the New England style, on the old style ones, you can cellar them, and they get maltier, which you like, and the hops start to fade, but you give yourself a malty barley wine, and you're really happy with it. So, it doesn't matter.
And it go back to Founders again. People are going to start thinking this is a Founders examination, but it's not. The Founders Devil Dancer Triple IPA, 12% alcohol. I had that a few years back, and it was the best barley wine, one of the best barley wines I've ever had. It's labeled as a triple IPA, but when I drank it, it was like a year and a half old, and it was beautiful. It drank like a malt. It was a malt bomb with a lot of boozy malt character in the best possible way. But none of the hop bitterness. If you bought it fresh, I'm sure it would probably drink more like a traditional West Coast piney,
Right.
grapefruit, whatever, but it mellowed out with age and it turned into a beautiful barley wine.
I mean, I tasted that also. That was a 12%er, and
Yeah.
I guess I like malty IPAs too. So I'm somebody. I'm in. You can give me a fresh one, and I like the hoppy kind of thing too. But you can give me a malty one, and I like that also. So I'm kind of like willing to go across whatever. And I like New England ones too. So it's like I like all three styles of that.
Right. Yeah, I'm like the New England IPAs for me are number one. Then you like your hazy IPAs, your you know, kind of like the Tropicalia for me is kind of in the middle, like in the middle range, and then your full on West Coast traditional piney, bitter, citrus, palate wrecker type beers. Those are my least favorite, but I've had some that are excellent. I do respect the style, like Lagunitas IPA, one of the best standard West Coast style IPAs that your money can buy, and it's cheap and affordable. Like you're not going to get better bang for your buck than a Lagunitas West Coast IPA.
What did you think of 6 Point Resin? Have you had that yet?
Yes, I reviewed that on my channel. That was up there. I think I gave it a 97 out of 100. It's
okay,
one of the best.
So that's another like a palate wrecker. That's 102.
Yes, it is definitely a palate wrecker. It reminded me actually a lot of the Lagunitas Hop Stupid, which is 102 IBUs. I believe the resin is 100 or 99.
And I think it's 103.
Yeah, it's up there. So I really enjoyed it because they found a way, as with any good traditional IPA, they find a way to balance out all that hop character with the malts. Even though it's definitely hop forward and can be considered a palate wrecker, they do it in a way to where somebody like myself can still enjoy it. And of course, the alcohol was matched well. It was 9 or 9.5%.
I think it was 9.1 is what it is. 9.1.
So the alcohol was well hidden. It was definitely very piney and bitter and grapefruit citrus oriented, but and even though I wouldn't drink it all the time because it's not really my cup of tea, I recognize it as a most excellent beer, bordering on world class, because that's what that style is. I just don't particularly love all that bitterness, but it was an excellent beer. Probably that and the Lagunitas Hop Stupid are probably the best two West Coast IPAs that I've ever had.
See, I agree, and I think it was Green Flash is the one that made the palate wrecker. The problem with the palate wrecker was that's what it did, and that's all it was. It was just a high IBU, high alcohol, and once you finished it, you can't drink anything. If you drank water, it tasted bad. I mean, it was like, really, it wrecked your palate. They were being honest, though. It did what they said. I mean,
right. And some people, I guess some people are into that hop, that crazy hop experience. But we've learned that we can get all of those hop characteristics with a New England IPA without all of the palate wrecking craziness that goes on with the West Coast IPA. You can get grapefruit, you can get pineapple, you can get piney notes, you can get tropical fruit, you can get all of that with the New England IPA, but the bitterness is low and you can enjoy all of the different presentation of the hops without being like, oh my God, my mouth's about to implode.
Right. When you went to Peachtree City the last time looking for beer, are you getting any more things from 6 Point other than their main?
The main one is all I've seen so far. The only one that I haven't actually reviewed yet or on my channel is the low-cal one. I can't remember what it's called, but it's their light IPA. It's like 99 calories. But
it's okay. It's not fantastic.
Yeah, well, I didn't buy it. I'm not too worried about buying that one because it's like craft Bud Light.
It's okay. I wouldn't go crazy.
But
you haven't seen like the Party Favor
IPA. The Party Favors is really good. Still my favorite, and I think I've told you this before. The Mind Control, 8.8%.
Yeah, I like that one too.
That to me, that's like one of the best. They call it a hazy double IPA, but it's a New England. It's a juice bomb. And it's one of the best ones. It hides the alcohol perfectly, and it's just I guess the flaked oats in there, or whatever, in addition to all of the the hop varieties that they use. It just drinks with probably one of the most creamy mouthfeels of any New England IPA I've ever had. It's just got that smoothness to it. At that
Right.
at 8.8, I mean, sitting at 8.8.
Six Point does a really nice job on all the IPAs for sure.
Right.
It's like one of the best things that they do, no question.
I'm always hopeful. I'm always hopeful, especially being 2021. And I mean, I hate to bring COVID up, but things seem to be getting a little bit better with the vaccine. The numbers are down. More things are kind of normalizing a little bit. So maybe if 6 Point was going to the master, I guess what I'm getting at is the Master Blend series, because the one that Bumpy sent me was right there at the I think it was 13.8 or right there at 14%. So there's a possibility that they could distribute some of the Master Blend stuff, or maybe the 4 bean, 5 bean, some of the lower, as long as they come in under 14%. I would love. I mean, 6 Point, if you're out there watching, which I doubt it, but if you are, send that stuff to Georgia. You'll get your money's worth out of it. Trust me, I'll buy a lot of it.
No, I think 6 Point would sell in Georgia too. They just have to put it on the shelves where people can try their beer.
Well, their regular stuff is selling like crazy. I mean, their regular stuff sells great. So I know that their specialty stuff would really do well here. Georgia's a big craft beer. We love that stuff here. So come on.
And your market is such that even with your local beers, you have room on the shelves for it. That's the problem that Jay says in Louisiana. It's almost like they don't want some of those other companies to come to compete with their beer.
Georgia is very open. Like Brandon's package, which is my favorite package store to go to. It's in Peachtree City. They have an entire wall, and it says Georgia Local. It's all Georgia local craft beer. And then the rest of the store is everything else. So you get the opportunity to try anything you want locally, but they still have a wonderful selection of craft beer from all over the place. So they're one of the places that they do it right. Showcase your Georgia beer, right? But then you got the rest of the store, and they've got all kinds of other stuff. So you're not taking away from the Georgia craft beer, but at the same time, you're offering a wide selection of great craft beer for all of people like me out there that want to try everything,
Right. And I'm happy you keep sending me stuff, because otherwise I wouldn't have any chance of getting Creature Comfort or Pontoon or
Right.
What was the other one you sent me? The other company you sent me, Wild Leap.
Oh, Wild Leap, the Partners in Crema, coconut, coffee coconut stout, and then the what was the other one? The double IPA from them. The
they were all really good. So I mean, it was definitely good stuff. Remember I told you that I was kicking around the idea of ordering that thing, because it's Brooklyn. It's not Brooklyn. It's New York Beer Week. So they had this deal where if you bought $65, you get 12 beers, then you have to pay $25 shipping. So I did it, and I'll get it at the end of the week. And it'll be interesting to see, because like I think I was talking about it on Stout Sunday, it can be okay, it can be good, it can be very good, and it can be excellent, but it depends. Again, I'm taking a chance. I'm rolling the dice. They choose what they give you. There were like 25 brewers, a lot of them that I know, but some of the beers, are not stuff that I'd really want. There's one from Coney Island Brewery, a 3.8 ounce Pilsner. Now, I don't want it, but if I get it, what can I do?
3.8%, hopefully not 3.8 ounces.
No, 3.8%. Everything, they're all pints. It's all 16 ounce, they're all 16-ounce cans. But again, it doesn't have to be 12%, but I really don't want 3.8. But I would say out of all the brewers, there were 25. Some have 2 different ones that you could get. Some have only one. There's probably 35 beers among the 25 brewers, because several have 2. 6 Point has the Cojito Cowboy as one of their 2.
Now that one,
I would have to send you one, because it's 15.4, and that will not be. Georgia just says no to anything over 14. So I mean, it's, whatever. But look, you have to work within the system, and if you have to get it by different means, it still counts. And And I told you I'm going to go over to my distributor and I'm going to try to get one of those Rincusial, and I'll buy one for myself too, of the same one, and we can do an examination for old time's sake. And I'll get the highest alcohol one they have, whatever it is.
So Stone Vineyard says 3.8%. That's in his kid's Kool-Aid. So
No, it's funny though that people
low.
they do still brew some of those really low alcohol ones. And to me, why would you even be drinking beer if you're drinking it at 3.8%? It's like you're teasing me. I don't want to be teased.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when you get that low, you might as well just, drink non-alcoholic beer or just drink water. I'm
just saying it's not worth. Look, I even have problems with some of the session beers because they don't have enough taste. So 3.8. Now again, maybe hopefully I won't see it, but if I do, I'll be fair. Hopefully I won't get it.
Now, really quick, we'll give our ratings here in a second for everybody out there watching. But really quick, I wanted to mention another deal that you got, which sounded really cool. I believe it was it Flying Dog? You bought a variety pack, and it came with like a stout.
Yeah, it was a variety pack of Flying Dog that came with the regular flagship beer, which is what's it called?
Which I've never had. I don't think I've ever had Flying Dog. I've heard a lot of good things.
It's out of Frederick, Maryland. They have, maybe they don't have national distribution. I know it's available in the whole Northeast. I'm drawing a blank. Let's see.
Hold on. Let me.
I can tell you what their flagship is. Raging Bitch is their flagship.
Oh yeah. So here I'll read the text you sent me. You said you bought a mixed a case, a 24-pack. It came with the Raging Bitch, which I guess is an IPA. It came with a blood orange variant, a flavored blonde, and then a milk stout.
Right. Now, the milk stout, I'm going to try on Stout Sunday, this Sunday. So you'll get a chance to see that. It's funny. The blonde is a takeoff on SpongeBob. I'm not into these cartoon shows, but maybe they are. It's I did actually already put it into my book. It's called Flying Dog Toast Bob Crunch Crunch Peach. I can't even read my handwriting. That's not good. Crunch something. Anyway, it's blonde ale, 6.1%, 11 IBUs with cinnamon and vanilla. Whatever, but there's some kind of takeoff. Now, I don't watch, SpongeBob, but I guess that maybe the people from there think it's a cool cartoon show, so they decided to make one. This was a really good deal. It was $30 for a case of 24, which comes
That's an awesome deal, and you get a variety. You get now the blood orange. Is that a pale ale or what style is the blood orange?
It tastes more like an IPA. It's 8% alcohol and 40 IBUs, so it's more like an IPA. It has some bitterness. That's what I did. I did that tonight on Wild Card Wednesday.
Okay, and then you said that the Raging Bitch, that's their flagship beer.
Yeah, it's a Belgian style IPA at 8.3.
So for $30, you're getting two of those beers are over 8%.
And the milk stout, which you're going to see on Sunday, is 7%. So it's not like they're fooling around.
That's a really good deal. $30 for a case of.
Now, the only possible hassle is I bought it now, and the dates that they say are optimum. It's early to mid-April, which means I have, but that still gives me time.
You got plenty of time, yeah.
But I don't review, as you know, but I do put them into my book, and I will come on Eric's show. Maybe I'll do all of them on Eric's show also. Even though the Raging Bitch everybody's had before, who's been up here. Maybe you don't get it.
Yeah, I haven't had it, but I've heard of it. I've never had it, but it is a well-known beer and highly regarded beer.
Are you ready for your rating?
I was just about to say, yeah, because I am, as you can see, I'm saving one last sip for my final.
Look at mine. I'm ready. I just have one.
All right, let me get the final sip here, and I'll give you a rating. All right, so I'm going to give it a 94 out of 100. It's a solid A. The only reason it doesn't get a little bit higher is because I've had so many beers from Pontoon that fit this description that are a little bit better. than this. They have so many different, whether it's the Berliner style Weiss, the straight sour series, whatever. There's so many of them, and this is one of my least favorite. But it goes to show you how good these beers are, because I'm still giving it a 94. It is the most excellent, a solid A beer for me. 94.
Okay, so with less experience that I have with Pontoon, I'm giving it a 95, since I have not had the other ones, and it's a definite A beer for sure.
Yes, I agree completely with that. It's a solid A. If you like the Berliner Weiss, the sours, the gozes, anything with that little bit of a lacto kick, that mouth puckering note. And then, of course, with this one, you get the addition of the spices, the cinnamon, the nutmeg, and the vanilla and lactose in there as well. It really does kind of make it like a liquid cobbler. Like if you like cobblers, you're probably going to like this. It's not overly sour. It's tart. It's not like a full-on sour. So if you're not into really sour beers, this might be one that you can still enjoy, because it has the tartness like from the cherry, but you wouldn't necessarily interpret it as being like a lacto beer, you know. And it's a Berliner style Weiss versus a Gozer sour, so there may not even be lactobacillus in this, but it does have the lactose, so I'm thinking there probably is some in there. But it's a great beer. It really is.
When I did do the promo, because we did do asides on it for Stout Sunday, Chadio said he'd like to come on. The problem is it's 8:30 where he is, and if he comes on, it almost means that, you know, his whole day is pretty shot. I guess if he starts at 8:30, he's going to probably be in trouble and keep drinking all day, which I guess he wants to avoid, I guess. So he's more likely to come on Bumpy's dark stout thing in the evening than he is in the morning. But I understand that when it's a different time zone, and we're starting at 10:30, which is pretty early in the East. So, you know, I understand. And that's why Beer Man will never come on either, because he has an extra at 7:30 there. So,
right. Jeez. That would be a lot of commitment on his part to get up and drink a stout at 7:30 in the morning.
I was also thinking that if I wasn't able to find an old ale, maybe I'll switch my day and instead come on. Beer Man does a show on Tuesday. Maybe I'd come on that. I've never come on his show before. Maybe
it's like a wild card. You just bring any beer you want, but you just pair it with a cheese of your choice. So yeah, that'd be great. I've joined a couple of the Beer and Cheese Tuesdays, and it's always a lot of fun. So yeah, I would. Because
I don't think Audrey really cares, but it's like, you know, I'll look tomorrow at the Cobb for an old ale. Maybe I'll find one, but they won't have the old curmudgeon, because they don't handle Founders. They might have the one from North Coast. They usually have the old Rasputin. The problem the Cobb has is they only have so much room, so they can't have every beer from every company.
Right.
So a lot of times they'll only have one or two, and that's all they can fit on their shelves, and that's it. But I'll look. Maybe I can find an old ale from somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's it. But John, thanks again for the other stuff you sent me, and I'll definitely send you some stuff back.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I enjoy it's worth it for me, just because we get to do these cool hangouts and you know, drink some great craft beer. But let's see, we've been going forth. We'll go ahead and wrap this up, I guess.
Okay, John.
Okay.
I'm cool.
So thank you to everybody in the chat for watching. We appreciate it. Thank you, Michael Komaroff, for joining me. Glad you enjoyed some more Georgia craft beer, and looking forward to doing a few more of these with you in the near future. So hope everybody has a great rest of their week and weekend. Don't forget to tune in to Stout Sunday, 10:30 Eastern Time, for some great porter and stout reviews. And we'll see you all in the next one. Until next time, everybody.
Cheers, everybody.